It seemed like an HR thing. Like, no, that's not fair. Do you know what I mean? It seemed like the Human Resources Department was making those decisions, or, like you say, Lando's mum was making those decisions. Do you know what I mean? Mercedes GD250, continuing our strip down and refurbishment of the engine for our G-Wagon. In the last video, I was talking about how we should get all the auxiliary parts for the engine sent to the vapor blaster. I have, in the end, decided not to vapor blast it. It's like spending money just for the sake of spending money, and it'd be a couple of €100, and I ordered some gaskets, a water pump, a thermostat, and a few other bits for the car, and they were belts and stuff, and they were €240. So that was painful enough that I wasn't going to then spend another 200 or 300 at the vapor blasters. Like, that's too much. So I have just polished everything by hand, not by hand, but with a wire brush. We'll have a look here. Everything's on the table here. We've got a valve cover, fuel pump, diesel pump, power steering, alternator, starter motor, all the pieces. This is just hand polished with a wire wheel on a drill. Over here there's a few more bits left that have to be done, but I was just using this drill and a couple of these wire wheels, and to be honest, it's done a really nice job, done a better job than I thought. Some of these pieces are going to be, the colour isn't a perfect match, you know, there's a bit of difference in the colour, in the polishing from the colours. So I think when I actually put them on the car, when I bolt them all back onto the car, I'll probably use just some steel wool, like this alternator, the starter motor and alternator turned up really nice. Everything was black, you know. We'd be back working with diesel and everything's black. Like this little bit of this like cast, that just polished up, took the rust off it. I didn't get I ordered a new water pump, so I haven't spent too much time cleaning that. But it's not perfect, but it looked really nice. It'll look a lot better on the engine, and I will try and finish it off with wire wool when it's on the engine, just to try and even out the colour, but it doesn't look that bad. The block is been disassembled and stripped of paint. I'm just in the process of taping it and the head up now. So here's the head. Look, you can see we've been back to working with diesel because you can't really see it in the camera here, but everything is black. Everything black, 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 black. That's the joys of working with diesel. The workshop is absolutely filthy with diesel. So we need to clean all the floor and everything here because it's really filthy. Like, look at the bench, look at the state of the bench, everything's black. So the head here is now spotless. Also, I got somebody to put this into a hot tank and hot dip it, clean it, so it's like absolutely spotless. I'm just going to tape it all up now and paint these bits black here in between. On this, not this, I won't do this bit, but I'll do the outside and all of these bits black, so I need to tape all of these surfaces up. The same, too much sun here. The same for the block. The block is now totally degreased. I'm going to hit it a bit with that wire wheel, a bit more, tape it all up, and then paint it black. The gearbox here, look at how nice and clean the bell housing is. This is like zero grease on it, that was minging also, so that's the bell housings all polished up, cleaned. The actual gearbox there is still pretty, I don't know if I'll try and paint that green again. And it's polished at the end. The adapter. The sump down there, the sump again was absolutely black, so that is now all clean. I've got a few little bits left to do underneath that fly. You can see here, this is all clean now also, but the flywheel still has a little bit of surface rust on it from where it's been lying inside. There was water lying inside the gearbox. What we have left to do, this is the state of the clutch. Now, the clutch is thick and has loads of life left in it. So I'm going to, I don't know, I really don't know what to do with this. It seems wasteful to buy a new one, so let's try and clean this all up, get all this rusty water out of it, get it cleaned up. Here in these fingers also, it's the same, but we'll just clean this, hit this with some emery paper, clean it all off and see what we can do. Because it's pretty nasty, but again, it looks like Sachs clutch. The clutch looks like it's brand new. So I think it would be wasteful to actually throw this out and replace it with a new one without really trying to clean it first. Maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe it's not such a good idea, but we shall see, because it's super wasteful just to throw it away. So we shall have a look at that. We're not quite there yet. Yeah, these are the little wheels I've used to clean everything up with. But now I'm just going to sit and tape all of this up. While I'm taping this up, we can have a little chat about the Formula One this weekend, because it was pretty not dastardly, but it was pretty shite of what McLaren did to Piastri. You might say, oh, it's a bit shite that McLaren had a bad pit stop and Norris lost those couple of seconds, but like, you know, a lot of life is about luck. You know, sometimes you get good luck, sometimes you get bad luck, and you know, it's just the way life goes, isn't it? Like, sometimes life's not fair, sometimes you're super lucky, sometimes you're super unlucky. And, you know, if you have discussed like swapping positions back and things like that, that's fine, but I don't think that if there's a bad pit stop and Norris loses his position to Piastri, I don't think that that's fair to then make Piastri give up that spot. Like, I think that's actually really unfair, right? Because that's just the way life goes. That's the way it goes in Formula One. That's the way it's always gone in Formula One. Like, these are typical Formula One type things. And I really think that interfering looked really bad, and it feels more unjust to have given Lando that place back than for Lando to have been second behind Max for the whole race and then, due to a bad pit stop, lost that position. That doesn't seem unjust. That just seems like racing. It just seems like that's something that happens in Formula One. But I think that when you then force the other driver who's had a bit of good luck in Lando's situation, to make him to then give that back is, to me, seems out with the sort of ethos of the sport, that sometimes you get good luck and sometimes you get bad luck. You know, that's interfering with fate, right? And especially considering these drivers might never ever get another chance to win a world championship. You know, this might be it. This might be their only year. The new rules next year could change everything, right? I'm not saying it's likely to happen, but like next year, Cadillac, Audi, and Aston Martin might be absolutely romping it, and McLaren's back to where they've always been, nowhere to be seen. And you know, that little bit of luck that Piastri had there might have been his championship. You know, that Lando had a bad pit stop, and then you know you're taking that away from him. You know, that seems really. To me, at the end of it, after it all, you're like, that feels like a sort of, not a manipulation, but it feels less just than if Lando had just, it feels more unjust, like taking that bit of luck away from Piastri than it does giving it back to Norris, right? That's, life's not fair. That's like a real part of things, like unfairness and things happen in the moment, especially in sport, especially a sport like Formula One. And then to take that away from Piastri and give it to Norris is, because where do you stop? Where do you stop with that? Where's the line on like, swap back for this, swap back for that, swap back for this? Like, also even asking like Piastri to give Norris a tow, right? I understand that it's all for the team winning, right? But the team, McLaren, is in absolutely zero chance of them not winning the Constructors' Championship this year, right? So just leave the fucking drivers alone. Like, you're going to win the Constructors' Championship. That is obvious, right? That is clearly what's going to happen. So just leave the drivers alone. Stop interfering with the fucking drivers. Like, if you're going to get a 1-2, then all season, that's great for you. But don't interfere in the Drivers' Championship and what the drivers are going to do. Like, to me, I came away from that race and it's like less of a McLaren fan, do you know what I mean, than before. I'm not saying like I'm like a die-hard McLaren fan or something, but it's like I've been enjoying what McLaren's been doing this season. But then when I see things like that, I'm just like, that's a turn off. That's a turn off, a sporting turn off. Do you know what I mean? I'm from Formula One. I want to see like my drivers doing anything to win. Like Max would never have done that. Schumacher would never have done that. Senna would never have done that. Like, why would you even ask your drivers to do that? It puts them in such a bad position that they're then going to think they're going to come in and get a bollocking from the team because they didn't do what the team asked them. Like, oh yeah, well, we asked you to let him through, why didn't you do it? And you're going to get a bollocking for that. It's like, nah, that's fucking, you shouldn't put your drivers in that position. Do you know what I mean? You should just go like, that was bad luck, that's fate. Do you know what I mean? That's what's happened. That's just let it be, and just let the results be what the results be. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if Lando's such a great driver, he could have came back out there and overtaken Piastri. Do you know what I mean? Piastri wasn't going to try and dive through and overtake Norris in the last two laps of the race because he's already got such a good points lead. Why is he going to take the risk? But do you know what I mean? Like, if Norris is so hungry for his championship, like, he gets back out there and he has to fucking get out there and pass Piastri on the track in those last couple of laps to get back the position. He should have the red mist down. He should be like, right, I've got to get out there and I've got to get fucking past him to get this position back because of my dream to win the world championship. Do you know what I mean? Not be like, it feels like his mum's there in the background going, hey, Andrea, just let Lando past again. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not fair. It's like, life's not fucking fair. Like, let him pass. Let them fight. Like, you know, Piastri's nice because he doesn't, you know, he's only 3 points. He doesn't really need to fight that hard. But like, to be honest, they should be fighting with every bit they've got, because next year's a new year, and like, who knows what's going to be happening with these cars next year. Look at how wet it is. It's so humid. This tape, I've cleaned all this down with alcohol, and this tape is just not for sticking. Oh, come on. It's quite awkward to tape this up. But yeah, that really, I found that really quite disappointing at the Grand Prix this weekend. Like, it's fucking shite, really. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not what you want to see. Like, nobody wants to see a bad pit stop, but that's like the excitement of it. Like, oh, you got a bad pit stop and you got fucked and all that shite. But then to then make them give the spaces back, especially for, how does that tape just absolutely poof, vanished? Oh, there it is there. Yeah, to take that away from Oscar is shite. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's like the Britishness of McLaren. It probably is. Like, oh, we've got to get. I can't help but think that they really want. But I just don't see what like. That's a sort of a bit in my brain where I'm like, it's because they're a British team, but they're not really a British team. They were founded by a guy from New Zealand, right? They're just based in Britain. Most Formula One teams are based in Britain. Like, how British is Red Bull? You know what I mean? You could say Aston Martin is British, but then it's also owned by an American, so it's like, how British is Red Bull, really? But yeah, it puts a sour taste in your mouth about McLaren, and I think, like, Zach Brown, he seems really sound, but I just don't see. That seemed like an HR thing. Like, no, that's not fair. Do you know what I mean? It seemed like the Human Resources Department was making those decisions, or, like you say, Lando's mum was making those decisions. I mean, it doesn't seem like real Formula One type executive decisions. Do you know what I mean? If you were like, you would just, but nah, it's fucking racing's racing. Like, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and sometimes you have some bad luck. And that's just the way, it's the roll of the dice, isn't it? Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes the other guy's lucky. And how you can then interfere with that seems not right to me, really not right. It seems like it was, I know it gives people something to talk about. I don't know how much of this is like giving people something to talk about. Do you know what I mean? I always like to think that, like, it'd be better for Piastri's, like, star and for his name if he had said no. Like, forget about what the team's going to say to you, disobeying team orders. I think if you were like Piastri and you're like, nah, I'm not giving that back, you go down more legendary for, like, standing up for yourself against the team and being an all-out psycho to win the World Championship. And but he's not being a team player. It's not really a team sport, is it? You know what I mean? It's like, there's two championships there. There's the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship, and maybe the Constructors' Championship is a team sport, but the Drivers' Championship is not a team sport, because only one person gets that trophy for life, and it doesn't matter what team they're at. If they move teams and they go to another team, then there's still a champion. Do you know what I mean? You're taking your drivers' championships with you for your career, no matter where you are. People come and people go at teams, but that drivers' championship stays with you forever. And you know, doing what the team says at this stage, where the constructors' championship is already 100% sewn up, and taking away your opportunity to forward your championship, your driver's championship. That's Piastri's championship. You know what I mean? You shouldn't ask him to do it in the first place, and he shouldn't fucking agree to it. And I think people would really like him a lot. I think he'd go up in a lot of people's estimation if next time they ask him to do something like that, he just fucking ignores it, right? Or he does it and then takes Norris out in the next corner, right? I can say, like, after this season, I'm really not a Norris fan, right? How he was celebrated at the British Grand Prix, where he was gifted that, right? He was gifted the British Grand Prix, and he's all like, I won. She's like, you didn't really, you were fucking gifted the British Grand Prix, right? For bullshit stuff, right? And all this celebrating, I'm so happy to win my first British Grand Prix. Okay, but that's the luck again. Do you know what I mean? That's the luck and the fate. But again, he got a bit of good luck there, right? So then he got a bit of bad luck at the Italian Grand Prix. So why can't we just leave it at that? Like, just because the luck was in the hand of the team, we should then rearrange things? Bullshit. Bullshit. Stinks. It stinks.